and gentlemen, welcome back to the best television show that's not on television. This is the Parlay, brought to you by All or Nothing Studios. It is Awthentik and The Beard. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, but we are Awthentik and The Beard, and this is the Parlay. It is Week 7 in the National Football League, known to many of you as bye-week apocalypse. It is true. There are, I believe, 6 teams on the bye week, and then you got injuries. It's going to be an interesting day of football, and we are going to guide you through it. I'm going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the left side to my strong side, Mr. Awthentik. What is good, sir?
What's poppin', The Beard? How you living, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Notre Dame, beat USC. There's many years of my life where that was a obstacle and not very obtainable, but USC sucks. So Notre Dame came out victorious, and I am excited. Got a little sketchy as Notre Dame usually does
there, huh?
in the fourth quarter. But, I was super excited about that. And shout out to the Washington Wizards, who are 2-0.
Man, sounding crazy.
It was crazy. The game two of the second win was wild. It was an overtime game. Dinwiddie, who has been playing exceptionally well and has been a great addition to the Washington Wizards this offseason, he dropped a three-pointer to send it to overtime, which was pretty dope. So, yeah, shout out to the Washington Wizards, 2-0.
I've been trying to, keep some faith in my New York Giants, and I haven't really been watching basketball. I got a rule where I don't watch NBA until the NFL season is over, but it looks like the season is quite over for my New York Giants. We got to get a win today to keep this thing alive, man.
Yeah, I mean we're both in this boat of must-need wins, but I mean every week is a must-need win.
I'm trying to catch up to y'all a little bit, man. I don't like that one-game win y'all got over us. I need y'all down in the dumps with us. Misery loves company. You know what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean the Philadelphia Eagles, they're down there too. I mean the Dallas Cowboys right now are just running away with the division, but they are on a bye week this week, so that's definitely something to help us out. And we are 1-0 in the division, which is,
crazy.
You try and pull all these, by luck and by default, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
So let's say some hellos to the people in the chat before I get to everybody. I'm gonna give a big shout out to the homie Lucas checking in from Australia.
Wow.
Big shout out to Lucas for the $100 Australian dollars super chat. Says congrats on the 2K, fellas, well deserved. We want to thank everybody because 2K is not about us; it is about you guys. We are excited, and we got some things we're working on in the mix.
Yeah, we got some things brewing. You know what I'm saying? For sure, man.
Definitely
appreciate everybody saluting the 2K though, man. That's a feat for us, man. I remember after season 1, we were at like 120 subs, man. We were still trucking through strong, trying to get these numbers up. But I always say it, man. I love the community that we have here, and I love the family we've built here. And as we continue to grow, I just hope that the vibes remain the same, because that's one thing that we aren't really in control of is who tunes in to Awthentik and The Beard. And so far, so good, man. Everybody who's the day ones and the weeklies who come through and chop it up with us. On almost a daily basis now, it seems like, man. It's been a lot of love in here, man. So, yeah, definitely got a lot of respect for y'all and appreciate y'all pulling up. And, Lucas, thank you again for that super chat and your presence, man. It's very welcome here. You already know, man. We appreciate you, brother, just for tuning in.
Absolutely, for sure. And big shout out to our homie from Twitter who has joined us in the YouTube world.
It's good to see Jeff here on the YouTube world for
Jeff.
sure, man. For sure.
We appreciate it.
Slate Ross and Ingram likely to play. That's what's up, man. Good to hear that.
Yeah. We will keep our eyes on all the updated injuries as they roll in. We definitely have some big help in the chat from people like Marjorie, always giving us news. Big shout out to Marjorie holding us down in the chat. We appreciate it. And Sunday, always holding us down, not just on Sundays, but Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and any other day that you might see Awthentik and The Beard. Big shout out. Shout out to the homie Cernox Connection checking in on one of our resident Houston Texan fans. We appreciate it. CeeLo Ren says ESPN was giving the Giants organization a lot of heat today.
Oh, I got to see that. I love to see that, some honesty about the team, man. I don't want people, running with the wrong narratives and whatnot, man. The Giants stink right now. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to check for that.
Very true. Big shout out to Logix. What's going on, Logix? Great to see you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. And Waterfly is in the building. What's going on, Waterfly?
What's up, fam?
Great
What's
to
up?
see you. Edward's in the building. Edward Squires, my favorite GQ name on the block. Sebastian is in the building. What's going on, Sebastian? Oh, and got to show some love to No Mets, No Nets, No Jets in the building. What's
up,
going
fam?
on? Joel Yado
up?
is in the building. What is going on? Great to see you, sir. Max Webster's in the building. What up,
Salute.
Max? Great to see you. Lax 044 is in the building.
044.
Yeah, you got to say it like you're about ready to hit the switch on the hydraulics, you know what I'm saying? TVN Sports says, yo, congrats on 2K.
Hey,
we appreciate
that.
it.
Salute to the Packers fam in the building one time. I
Yep,
hope y'all take care
yep.
of business today.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Kyle Key is in the building, one of our resident Houston Texan fans.
What up,
you
Kyle?
guys
What
got
up,
your
man?
work cut out for you today. Real People's in the building.
Facts.
Tonio Bot is in the building.
Tonio was good every week, yo.
Appreciate all the 2K love,
Hey, appreciate
guys.
that, sir. Knock.
Anthony Bluegrass Picker is in the
Bluegrass
building. Kansas City
What up?
Chiefs fan. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Waterfly says, if you do need financial advice, so you can ask him and Glock. They are
what's up.
financial advisors. Big shout out to the homie Nick the Wick in the
NTW
building. What's
in the
going
building.
on?
What's up, fam?
Ligma's in the building. Hey, gotta give a
Yeah.
big shout out to my homie Mark from Knucklehead Sports Breaks. He is a Panthers fan. That is where I got that awesome Washington football team Terry McLaurin autographed full-size
fire.
helmet from.
Fire.
I also just hit a John Morant autographed basketball and a Ronald Acuna autographed bat in the last week. So big shout out to the homie Mark at Knucklehead Sports Breaks. Make sure you guys go follow them on YouTube. They do breaks. I believe it's now three times a week, either 2 times or 3 times a week. So definitely check them out. He's always got some fire stuff, tons of Giant stuff too. So definitely want to show up.
Yeah, definitely
and
keep
give
me in
them
the loop
some
with
love.
that. You know, I'm always looking for the Giant stuff. Big matchup today against your Panthers, too, man. Hoping to take y'all down.
Shout out to the homie Toothpick from First String Podcast.
What's up,
Says he
fam?
needs some winners today. And, yeah, I had to break out the Daryl Green throwback
Yeah.
75-year joke because the Packers got – I'm not even going to lie. Packers got some sick throwback uniforms they're wearing today.
Hey, speaking of throwbacks, I didn't like those throwbacks y'all had on last week. Them pants, man, those are not tight. Those look like throw up. Those are not tight, yo. I'd like to see y'all go with them throwbacks with the the helmet that had the R with the feather on it.
Yeah.
I like those
Like
throwbacks a lot. Them all whites, those are pretty dope too.
So we'll see. I wonder if we're going to be wearing throwbacks, if they're wearing throwbacks.
Oh yeah, true.
Interesting. Cookie Monster's in the building. What up, Cookie?
What up, Cookie
Appreciate
Monster?
you stopping by. Sebastian is in the building. Appreciate the $1.99 super chat. Says congrats on 2,000 subs. Best NF East show on YouTube.
Appreciate you,
We
brother.
appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you pulling up, man.
Oh, I got to give another big shout out to the homie John over at Kingpin Breaks. He is a New York Giants fan and one of my favorite card breaking groups on the internet. They have an awesome Facebook group and a YouTube channel. So definitely go show them some love. Also, you should see it. He's got the Lawrence Taylor autographed Lombardi trophy and the Lawrence Taylor helmet in the background of his card breaks. So he's a big New York Giants fan. I think he's listening to us.
Man.
Yeah, I think he's listening to us on his way back from a softball tournament. So
Dope. Welcome.
big
King
shout
Pin
out
Breaks,
to
man. Appreciate you, brother.
Kalen Dragon
Dragon.
56.
My
Congrats
G
on the
was good.
2K. Says
Appreciate
Mecole
it.
Hardman, Christian Kirk, and AJ Dillon or Khalil Herbert. Ooh, week 7 got you good. Mecole Hardman hasn't just lived up to it this year. It's going to be kind of disappointing. I like Christian Kirk. I think he's good. I'd probably go Christian Kirk and AJ Dillon because I like Khalil Herbert, but that Tampa Bay run defense is insane. So that I'd go Kirk and Dillon.
Kirk and Dillon. I like Mecole Hardman's matchup here. The Titans defense, they have the worst secondary pretty much in the league. So I like Mecole Hardman in this matchup. So I'd probably go Mecole Hardman and A.J. Dillon. I like A.J. Dillon to get some work in the passing game today, too. Khalil Herbert's coming off a big game, though.
Yeah. And they've been starting to do a little bit more of that, getting him some more burn, which I really like too.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Tommy from the Tommy Bernhard podcast for the $4.99 super chat. Says, Mama says foosball is the devil.
I wasn't looking. I thought you was going to say Mama says knock you out, but I'll take foosball as the devil as well, man. Shout out to homie Tommy one time in the building, yo.
Leagueman says, choose one, Khalil Herbert, AJ Green, or Jalen Waddle. I think that's easy for me, Jalen Waddle. He's the number one guy there right now. He's a great talent, and I think he's going to have a big game today.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle's coming off that big game in London or whatever it was, and choose one. Yeah, so I guess I go Jalen Waddle. Maybe Khalil Herbert is a close second.
Big shout out to Nick the Wick for the $9.99 super chat. Says, congrats on the 2K, spreading the love since I had my best game. Hoping Matt Pert has his best game or Daniel Jones is going to get killed.
We need it.
Man.
Matt Pert was struggling at that left tackle position. He was thrown out there with the injuries. Hopefully, they went back to the drawing board and they kind of got some things corrected, because the Giants are definitely a team that if you don't have time for Daniel Jones, things are not going to work out for him. So hoping that goes well with Matt Pert today. No Andrew Thomas again on IR. We in struggle mode right now. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, and Robbie Anderson versus the Giants. I think Awthentik might have some nuggets on that.
I'll give you one good nugget right here. Yeah, start them. I mean, the Giants, the secondary has been awful. We can't cover anybody, and I'm hoping to, maybe be surprised today. Robbie Anderson hasn't had a great year. I think he's got one touchdown on the whole season. But, the Giants' defense has been allowing anybody and everybody to score on us. So if, you don't got a lot of depth at the wide receiver or the flex position, I'm not mad at a start for Robbie Anderson today.
Lucas says,
oh, and one more thing on the Robbie Anderson thing real quick. Your boy Terrence Marshall Jr. is out today, so that should deal well for him as well.
Lucas says, Heineke or Daniel Jones in a 2-quarterback league. Yes, both.
We're fans of the team.
I'm going to go Daniel Jones. I'm going to go Daniel Jones.
If you go Daniel Jones, I'm going Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones.
There we go. First string, Be More, Cincy. We're going to get to that game. That's on our list. So stay tuned. Yeah, so that's coming up very soon. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the love, all the support. We got 32 people watching right now. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. We are about ready to kick things off. Let's get into the first game of the day, which is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 3-3. They are 4-point favorites at the Tennessee Titans, who have won 4 in a row now. They're 4-2. The over-under in this game is a whopping 57.5 points. I believe that is the highest total on the slate today. The game kicks off at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be a high-scoring affair, I think. Derrick Henry's coming off of another monster game.
Yeah.
He's obviously in everybody's starting lineup during season-long fantasy football. He is super expensive on FanDuel. I think he's like $11,000. A little bit cheaper on DraftKings, so he's going to be difficult to get into those lineups. But there is a will, there is a way. Kansas City has only punted the ball 10 times all year. So that is
you got to chop up a lot of that to the interceptions as well.
Yeah,
too,
they also lead the league in turnovers. So that if the Titans want to get in this game, they're obviously going to have to force some turnovers. The Chiefs do allow a whopping 133.2 yards per game on the ground. So I would imagine Derrick Henry is going to eat today. Speaking of eating, A.J. Brown showed up on the injury report this week under the designation of Chipotle. He had some bad Chipotle and had some stomach issues, but he is good to go. Julio
That's
Jones.
interesting, man. Let me tell you something real quick about that Chipotle. I got some Chipotle like about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm normally a big fan of Chipotle, but that chicken that I had that day, I swear, bro, it was like straight up like rubber. It was like straight rubber, and I was like, maybe I'm tripping. You take a couple bites, and you're like, maybe I'm tripping. I got about halfway through that bowl, and I was like, man, I threw that whole thing in the trash quick, and I was like, I have not ate Chipotle since. Like, and I used to love it, man. I'm a big fan of the burrito bowl. Give me a tortilla on the side, make me little baby tacos. Yeah, it was terrible. So I'm definitely feeling for him.
See, I'm not a big Chipotle guy, but Josie, my fiance's mom, and Buela, they be cooking up some good food, so I don't really, have to deal with the Chipotle. I eat it on the run every once in a while.
That was a suspect answer because you be eating on the run like Nori, and you be going by 7-Eleven getting you some Crunch Donuts, some cheap snacks, but when you get home at night, you get some good food.
7-Eleven pizza is the best pizza on the planet if it's fresh.
Oh my God,
just so everybody
I know
knows.
New York fans is ready to smack their screen.
Well,
on their laptop
I
right
lived
now.
in New York. I lived in New York, and I loved the New York pizza. I used to live above this pizza shop when I was staying in East Village over on St. Mark's, and they had the best barbecue buffalo chicken pizza in the world. It was so good.
Hey,
but
listen,
the
if you're gonna
7-Eleven
get pizza
pizza
in
be
DC,
2 for $2.
Go to Red Light. The only pizza that I think is giving competition to New York style pizza is Detroit style pizza, and Red Light here in DC, man, the sauce on the top of the cheese. Deep dish, square, cranking. Yeah, definitely check them out if you come to DC.
Big shout out to the homie Waterfly for the $2 super chat. Hi, Nikki. 2,000. Support.
2,000.
Appreciate it, lover. My
Appreciate
man.
you, brother. Appreciate
All
you,
right. So otherwise in this game is it's tough because I think
just nah.
I think Tennessee is gonna give them a good run for their money. Tennessee has actually scored 18 touchdowns this year, which is 9th in the NFL. But not a lot of those have come passing. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry leads the league in touchdown runs. Also, I don't know. I like the Chiefs to win this game. I think they're starting to take this corner. But Tennessee's been hot. I'm going to take Tennessee to cover the 4 points. That 57.5 is kind of sketchy. I'm going to go under 57.5 on that. Yeah.
The 57.5 is definitely sketchy. Tennessee Titans last week, I believe it was against the Buffalo Bills, came out and surprised me with how many points they put up on the board. And I know a lot of people would pick the Bills in that game. Today, I like Mecole Hardman, like I said, because the matchup against the Titans secondary, they've allowed the most fantasy points to wide receivers this season. And Kansas City doesn't really run the ball with much success, even when Clyde Edwards-Helaire is healthy. So I definitely like that matchup there. Another matchup I really like is Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's coming off a quiet game, too. Had no touchdowns last week, 1 interception, only 216 yards. Kansas City's secondary is ranked 31st right now. They've allowed the second most fantasy points to quarterbacks. Will the Chiefs sell out to stop Derrick Henry is really the question here, and if they do, I think that opens up some things in the passing game. I would look at the wide receiver situation for the Titans as well, too. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. But, yeah, I think that this is going to be a game where I don't see Tennessee back-to-back being able to compete with 2 Super Bowl contenders. I think it was a surprise last week against the Bills. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to cover that 4. And let me see. I'm looking at about like 34 to 19-ish. I'm going to take the under 2. I'm going to take the under 2. It'll be close, but I'm going to take the under as well. But, yeah, Kansas City covers the 4. And, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a big day today. We've been waiting for a real big day from Patrick Mahomes. No turnovers. I think this will be that day, and Mecole Hardman's
I was going to ask you, over under 1.5 interceptions on Patrick Mahomes.
Under.
So you think under? Yeah.
Under, yeah.
I think he has a good game today, too.
It's about time he gets it really clicking.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, the Tennessee Titans defense is a good defense to get that going, especially after playing Washington.
Yeah, that secondary has been god-awful second. Like, there's teams that you're just waiting to, like, make that turn, and just get better. I mean, Kansas City's defense and the Titans' defense, secondary-wise, just both been struggling all year long. So, I'm looking for Patrick Mahomes to really show us what you got today, man. If he can't show it today, I think we should be worried about the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, next game on the slate, which I think is actually one of the most underrated games all day today, is the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 4-2. They are heading to Baltimore, and the Baltimore Ravens are 5-1. They are 6.5-point favorites. The over/under in this game is 45.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lamar Jackson. That's all you really need to know.
Easy.
But I mean, listen, Lamar Jackson,
best
Joe
player
Burrow,
in the league.
Possible. I mean, he is killing it. He's having a season. And you know what's interesting is going into this year, I thought that Lamar Jackson finally had his best set of weapons. I thought J.K. Dobbins was going to have a great year. I love the pick of Rashad Bateman, bringing in Sammy Watkins. Another year with Marquise Brown. Just kind of all Mark Andrews. It just kind of all made sense to me. And then injury after injury after injury. But Rashad Bateman came back last week, and he had, I think he was 24% of the targets were to Rashad Bateman in that game, in his first NFL game. He is absolutely dirt cheap on DraftKings today. I think he's like $3,900. He's probably going to be heavily owned because of his price point and that target share that he received in his first game back. But still, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to
and
run
it goes
with
to
Rashad
show
Bateman.
you too that like they're not targeting a lot of wide receivers over there because even with that high target share, it was only 6 targets in the whole game. But one stat that stood out to me is that on 30% of his routes that he runs, he had the ball thrown to him. So when he's in the game, they're looking to get him involved early. I really like that. It looks like Sammy Watkins going to miss this game, right?
Sammy Watkins, he's out.
Yeah, he's out. So, that should yield well for Rashad Bateman, even probably to get more targets. And, the running back situation over there, they're struggling. I know Lamar Jackson's going to run the ball a lot. But, I like Rashad Bateman as well in this game.
Yeah, so no Latavius Murray this week, and he's been playing really well. Freeman looked okay in last week's game, and it was crazy because Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, and Murray all scored touchdowns in that game. It's like an all-star team from like 10 years ago, so it's pretty insane. Jamar Chase has been lights out. He's on pace, I believe, to break Justin Jefferson's rookie receiving records, which is I always butcher saying those two words together. Rookie wide receivers. If you guys didn't know from season 2, Authentic and The Beard.
Which
shout out
Brandon
to the
Moss's
homie.
old record.
Shout out to the homie Nick the Wick for the $4.99 super chat. Says Ricky Seals-Jones or Goddard for tight end. Also Darrell Williams, Damian Williams, or Devonta Booker for flex. Okay, I'll take this first. I like Goddard for tight end. I do like Ricky Seals-Jones, but I think Goddard's going to be a safety blanket for Jalen Hurts. I think that Vegas is going to take away the deep pass from the Eagles, and he's going to be forced to go to the tight end. As far as the running backs go, I want nothing to do with Devonta Booker at all. And
not a thing.
Okay, so I always get this mixed. Whichever Williams is in Chicago, I don't want him because he is that Tampa Bay defense is insane. So go with the Williams that plays for Kansas City. I always get these guys mixed up.
Darrell is the one that's for Kansas City, and Damian used to play for Kansas City and now is with the Bears.
So go with Darrell Williams for me in the flex, and then Goddard for tight end. What about you, sir?
I like Seals-Jones, man. He gets the same target share as Logan Thomas when he was out there. I just like him. He's a big target. I actually scooped him up in one of my leagues. We were talking off air, and I couldn't remember the tight end I scooped up, and that's who it was. So I like Seals-Jones over Goddard today. And I mean, Damian Williams or Devontae Booker for flex, or is it Daryl or Darrell? I can't remember how you say his name. Yeah, those are all bad. I guess if I had to choose, I'm going Darrell Williams. I don't like him at any of them, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a
tough shout out to you, NTW.
The Week 7 bipocalypse is
the bipocalypse.
It is no joke out here, ladies and gentlemen. So, listen, I think Cincinnati's going to keep this game close. I really do.
Is Bipocalypse an original, or did you snag that from somebody?
I think I don't know if it's not fully original.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it's been going around. But I will tell you this. I tweeted out about Week 7 after my first fantasy football draft because I looked at my team and I said, nah, this ain't right. This got to be a mistake. All these people got bye weeks on Week 7.
Yeah.
And then I started looking into it and I was like, oh, listen. And it's not just the sheer amount of teams on a bye week. It's the teams and the caliber of players that are on these teams during this bye week, which make it so crazy. I mean, think about all the weapons that you're missing in Buffalo, Dallas, and then Pittsburgh with Claypool, Najee Harris. It's just
Pittsburgh
that's
defense,
just to name a
can't
few.
Forget about that.
It's pretty crazy.
I just got some news from Ian Rappaport real quick, and it's not like anything really like game sensitive or anything, but he was saying just a note here about Desean Watson. If he would land on the commissioner's exempt list if he was traded, and it says all indications are his status wouldn't change. He'd be available if he was traded.
Sketchy situation.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the Bengals to cover this. I'm going to take the I think the Ravens win, but I like the Bengals to cover. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 6.5, and I'm going to take the over 45.5.
And taking the over. I'll take the over in this game, too. The Bengals have been a surprise this year, man. Like, in games where you feel like they won't be in it, you know, like the game against the Packers, they end up competing, man. So I do think they're going to come out here and compete. I got to just put all money down on the Ravens one time. No, I think the Ravens are going to cover that 6.5, but I do think it'll be a pretty high-scoring affair. I like Joe Burrow's matchup today, too, and Joe Burrow has thrown multiple touchdowns in every game this season that he's been a part of. He's only averaging 29 pass attempts, so look for that to actually be higher today, I feel like, and more of a shootout, trying to compete with Lamar Jackson. He also leads the AFC in yards per attempt at 8.9. They're getting T. Higgins back healthy. You talked about Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. So I'm looking at more. I'm looking at more passing this week. Being an underdog in this game, it was 7 earlier this week. It dropped to 6.5. But still, I still got the Ravens covering. So give me the Ravens 6.5, and I'll take the over 45.5.
What do you think about Joe Mixon in this game before we close it out?
You know how I feel about Joe Mixon on a normally, just super injury prone. You know, but if he's out there, man, he can be effective. So you know, until he actually gets banged up and gets hurt, which he's been pretty good about this season, I'd keep Joe Mixon in my lineup.
All right, next game, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Desean Watson, one of his possible rumored destinations is the Miami Dolphins. The Atlanta Falcons are 2-3. They are 1.5-point favorites at the Miami Dolphins, who are a shockingly bad 1-5. The over-under in this game is 47.5 points. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I got Matt Ryan in this game, man. Coming off the extra rest, man. They had to bye last week. He's getting Calvin Ridley back, Russell Gage back. And in his last 3 games, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, and Miami's defense, they've been pretty terrible. They're allowing the 10th most points to quarterbacks right now, fantasy-wise. So I love Matt Ryan in this matchup. We talked about Jalen Waddle. He was on my bench last week, and I was pretty salty about that. 10 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day out there in London. And Kyle Pitts, man, finally, he got back on track, too. 9 catches, 119 yards. That's what I think. That's why they drafted him, is to have those kind of games. So those are my 3 key players in this game. As far as the matchup goes, I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to take care of Miami. That 1.5 seems a little bit generous towards Miami. I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this game, and I'm going to take the Falcons to cover the 1.5.
Ooh, I love Jalen Waddle in this game, and I think Tua is actually a sneaky play on DraftKings. I think he's going to be kind of low owned. I think him and Waddle are starting to build some sort of chemistry going on. And Gesicki, who plays tight end but doesn't really play tight end, he's typically on. He's lined up outside, spread out, and it's just like, they just have to find a way to utilize these weapons. And I think a lot of that comes from the lack of the run game. But Myles Gaskin has looked a little bit better as of late. The Falcons, on the other hand, it's interesting to see. Kyle Pitts had that breakout game. Calvin Ridley wasn't playing. Now Calvin Ridley is back. And if Gage is, they have to find a way to kind of like spread the ball out so that one of those weapons can get open. And you can't talk about the Atlanta Falcons without talking about Cordero Patterson.
Big
the
facts.
Dude is an absolute machine. He's catching the ball, he's running the ball. I love Cordero Patterson in fantasy situations, especially PPR leagues and in DraftKings. Although his price is getting crazy now. He's super expensive in comparison to what he used to be. But, just somebody who's going to get you carries, who's going to get you catches, touchdowns. Who knows what he's going to do on the field, which is what I love in a fantasy football player. I've been back and forth on this game all week, and I love the Matt Ryan call, too, because I think he has been playing really well lately. I don't know. I think the Falcons are well rested, too. All right, I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to take the Dolphins in this game as an upset.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Dolphins in an upset. It's going to be a close game, though. And I definitely think we hit the over 47.5. I don't know why I did that. I have an interesting, weird feeling.
You got to go with that feeling sometimes.
Yeah, it might just be my mustache tickling my nostril right now, but I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to win that game.
Nothing like a good tickle of the mustache. It's terrible.
Oh, man. Speaking of the AFC East and stinkers, this next game, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, to say it in a fancy way, in the pre-production meeting, Awthentik said, what's the over-under in this game? 32?
I mean, that's what I thought, man. Outside of that last week game the Patriots had against the Cowboys, they ain't been putting up no numbers. And you talked about the points per game on the Jets. I forgot what you said it was, but it was
13.4 points per game the Jets are averaging.
That is just terrible right now. I'll tell you what, sit Zach Wilson. That boy been struggling. And sit him along with every other player on that Jets offense right now. Zach, you already know Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks. And this should be a very favorable matchup with his defense against Zach Wilson. I'm hoping he can surprise me, man, because he's had a really bad year. 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 1,117 yards. Yeah, just sit him on that bench. The other person I was looking at in this game, there's no offense in this game. I was looking at Jacoby Myers, man, but Jacoby Myers, he's had a lot of catches on the year, but he hasn't scored a touchdown all season. Outside of his 2 back-to-back games, September 26th and October 3rd, he went against the Saints. He had 9 catches for 94 yards. October 3rd, he went against the Bucks, who they have a terrible pass defense. It's crazy because those are the 2 top rushing defenses in the NFL right now, which is probably why he got, a little bit off against them. But he had 8 catches, 70 yards against the Bucks as well. Outside of those 2 matchups, I use my calculator to do a couple of averages here. He's averaging just under 5 receptions while averaging under 45 yards per game. So Jacoby Myers is another one I am sitting on my bench this week. Give me the Patriots in this game, though. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. I can't take them to cover, man, because I just see a lot of field goals in this game. I'm looking at a score of like 16-13 Patriots.
So, yeah, the Patriots are favored by 7. They're 2-4. The Jets are 1-4. Over-under is actually 42.5.
That is
nuts. Big shout out to Ivan Felipe for the $2 super chat. Says, love the show, fellas. Congrats on 2K. Let's go, G-Men.
Appreciate that, Ivan. Giants Nation is in the building, man. We appreciate you pulling up, brother.
If I was forced to take a player in this game, I might take Damian Harris. I think he's been playing pretty good lately. I know it's always rough to take a Patriots running back because you just never know who's gonna, be carrying the ball under Bill Belichick. But he is the Jets are giving up 123 yards per game on the ground. So that is a little hole that I saw.
Damian Harris is a good call because he's coming off a game against the Cowboys where he had 18 carries for 101 yards, 1 touchdown, 5.6 yards per carry. So that's a big game. I've got what's my man's name? Ramondre Stevenson. I've got him snuck into a lineup today because of the what did you call it? What are you calling this bye week again?
Bye week apocalypse.
Bye week apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to sneak him in, and Sony Michel made his way into my lineup too. So if you struggling like I'm struggling, I think you got to definitely look at Damian Harris, and you might want to look at Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, this game is probably going to be sloppy. I mean, this is the first teams that I think that are playing their second division game against one another this season. And in the first game of this season, Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions. It was a bloodbath. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I also like the Jets to cover that 7, and I'm going to also take the under 42 and
so this is the second time the Jets are playing the Patriots. Why couldn't they do NFC East like that? I would like to have the Eagles on the schedule twice in the first 7 weeks.
Yeah, I think we all would.
Right?
The actives and inactives are starting to roll in. Looks like the Packers, Preston Smith and Kevin King are out. Jets, CJ Mosley is out. Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard is out. Evan Ingram will be playing, and as I suspected, Washington football team cornerback William Jackson has been ruled out.
Might be a good thing for y'all over there. He's been struggling.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. We'll get to that in a little bit.
A very little bit.
All right, so the next game on the slate is going to be, here we go.
I told you a very little bit.
Speak of the devil.
Speaking of
All right,
the devil.
it is the Washington football team who are 2-4. They are headed to Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra. The Green Bay Packers are 5-1. They are a 8.5-point favorite. Over under is kind of low, 46.5 points. Listen, Davante Adams is probably he had a bad Davante Adams week last week, and typically the stat that's been rolling around the interwebs is that when Davante Adams has a bad Davante Adams game, his following game is lights out, like just goes ham. There's a good possibility that Davante Adams crosses the 200-yard threshold today.
I like that he goes ham, reference, ham and cheese, Packers. I see what you
ham
mean.
And cheese. Yeah. Oh, man.
Blend in.
Shout out to the homie Rev T, because, he did his sermon this week. For those of you that don't know, Rev T is the people's everything. He is the Washington. He is the Washington football team reverend, unofficially, and he was singing in his sermon about grilling cheese. So, it was.
You gotta love Rev T, man. He always keeps the vibes really high. Like no matter how bad the Washington football team is doing, he's always got high vibes. I haven't got a chance to check out a lot of his content this year, but we should get him on the show one day, man, and introduce our base to Rev T. Rev T's a super cool dude and just hilarious, man. He's a funny dude from the DC area.
Yeah, so what my keys to this game are. Terry McLaurin needs 100 yards. Taylor Heineke needs to pass the ball no more than 25 times. We need to run the ball collectively.
Those two don't work together.
I know they don't, but they got to.
Taylor Heineke needs to throw the ball 33 times for Terry McLaurin to get 100 yards.
Yeah. That's no, we can't have that. We cannot have that.
I know, this is a what have you done for me lately kind of a league, but like go look at when Taylor Heineke was having some success early on in the year. He wasn't throwing it 25 times. He's a gunslinger, man. He's baby Favre, man.
Yeah, I know, but I'm over it now already. And listen,
you had 1 week where I convinced you Taylor Heineke is a guy. It was 1 week, and then he didn't do anything, and you went right back to off the bandwagon of Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, no, there's no room. The wagon wheel fell off like an Oregon Trail.
I think Taylor Heineke is going to have a good game today.
I hope so. Obviously, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's what all fans say. I hope so. But y'all in your hearts are like, man, I hope he fails. We need a new quarterback in Washington.
Well, I mean, we ain't gonna get a new quarterback right now, so
I mean, if you keep your ear to the streets, that's not what these trade rumors are saying.
Yeah, that's all. That's all just make believe.
And if they're talking about Desean Watson being available out there to even go play, Shefty just gave me or that was Ian Rappaport actually, who just gave me the text. If my man Desean Watson is actually ready to play, maybe Washington could try to make a move.
Not gonna happen. No.
This will be one of those clips. You remember when you were like, Alex Smith, he's never going to play another day of football ever again. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. 2 weeks later, starting quarterback for the Washington football team, Alex Smith.
You ain't never going to let that one go.
Because you want to know why? Because you never let the not going to happen thing go. You got to leave room for something, Leave room for Taylor Heineke to have a good game.
I learned my lesson.
Leave room for Desean Watson. Wouldn't it be a blessing in disguise? I mean, pending his legal trouble is not, really what it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I don't know what's going on with Desean Watson. You would hope allegedly
good.
for the team that gets
much.
him. Hey, according to Ian Rappaport, he's not going to be on that list. So that might be a good thing, man. Washington, according to the Beard, needs a new quarterback.
Yeah, they're 1-5 against the spread this year.
I
Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, are 5-1 against the spread. Look,
Vegas
Davante
knows
Adams,
something, man. That's crazy. The Packers are 5-1 against the spread. They've had some tight spreads this year too.
Yeah, Davante Adams is going to eat today. That's. I mean, he's the big play of this game, I think. Hopefully, we'll see how Antonio Gibson holds up. You might see a lot of J.D. McKissick today with the way that Gibson is banged up. And, McKissick is always hit or miss recently. he has these games like last week where he goes off for like 100 total yards from scrimmage, and then he has games where he touches the ball 2 times the entire game. Like, I just don't understand.
All in the passing game for McKissick. Last week he had the highest targets of any running back out there. He had 10 targets. No running back had higher targets than that. And with what's my man Antonio Gibson dealing with that shin issue, I think McKissick's going to get his fair share of targets or touches today. Might see him a little bit more involved in the running game, and I would guarantee I'd put almost all my money he's going to be involved in the passing game.
Yeah, this is TVN Sports Packers. Gives us his 3 keys for Packers wins. Get a red zone stop. For those of you that don't know, the Green Bay Packers have the worst red zone defense in the entire National Football League. 15 red zone appearances. They have given up 15 touchdowns. Also get the ball out quickly to avoid getting sacked. Aaron Rodgers has been sacked twice, at least twice in the last 3 games, I believe, and then scored touchdowns in the red zone. Washington's red zone defense has actually been one of their brighter spots, bend don't break sort of mentality, but it's going to be it's a whole different ballgame when you're going against the Green Bay Packers.
Indeed.
I mean, I can't pick Washington football team to win this game. It just makes no logical sense.
On Thursday, you said you might change your mind.
I did, but I'm not.
Ramondre Stevenson downgraded to out. I got to make a move right when we get off the air. So, yeah, take him out of your lineups. Damian Harris, boost him up.
Boost him up. I think Washington covers the spread. I like the 8.5 a little bit. What? No? I don't cover the spread?
Oh, my God. He's just so down on your
end
team, but then they're going to cover the spread against the Green Bay Packers on the road?
I'll take the Washington football team plus 8.5. And I'm going to take the over 46.5 also.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over 46.5 for sure because the Washington football team is going to have to try to do something to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. But I got the Packers covering 8.5. I think this will be a 14 to 17 point deficit for your Washington football team.
Thanks.
Did we talk about A.J. Dillon?
We didn't. We talked a little bit about him early in the show.
He's got 13 touches in the last 3 games. He's averaging 13 touches. So I think he's a guy. Washington defense is allowing the 9th most fantasy points to running backs this season. So Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon dialed him up.
Yeah, I don't think I have any. I've been so focused on Devontae Adams having a huge game. I don't think I put Aaron Jones in many DraftKings lineups today.
Packers need to make a trade before that deadline, man. Go out there and get you another wide receiver, man. Hinting Odell Beckham the last couple episodes, but it could be anybody. They just need a really good number 2 wide receiver.
That would be crazy. Aaron Rodgers, Odell Beckham, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, because that offense has been, they've been good, but
they ain't been,
the typical Aaron Rodgers level of that offense, man, where you blowing teams out, getting 30 every game, that kind of vibe.
So heading from my squad to Mr. Awthentic squad, the next game on the slate is the Carolina Panthers. They are 3-3. They are also 3-point favorites at the New York Football Giants.
Can I do a rant real quick? It's like, no, I'm just playing.
The New York Giants are 1-5. The over/under is 43.5 points. Kickoff is Sunday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As Marjorie and others in the chat have alluded to, Sterling Shepard is out for this game. Awthentic, tell me what you got.
We talked about Robbie Anderson a little bit, who's definitely been a huge disappointment. But yeah, this is the crazy part about Robbie Anderson. He had 11 yards receiving last week. You know how many targets he had? 11. The man had 11 yards on 11 targets. That is ridiculous.
I don't know what happened to him.
But he does rank top 20 in air yards this season. I talked about how he should benefit from Terrace Marshall Jr. being out of the game. DJ Moore is obviously a guy you want to start if you got him on your team. He's not available in no leagues. DJ Moore been going off. And we talked about the Giants defense, man. That Giants defense is awful. They're allowing the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers on the outside this season. And, we talked about this off air a little bit, the Beard. A lot of fantasy chefs out there have been saying maybe you might want to start the Giants defense in some DraftKings or in some fantasy leagues that are struggling to actually get good defenses out there. Mine being one of them. I got Pittsburgh on a bye. I was struggling. I think I'm starting the Patriots defense against the Jets today, or maybe it was vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's
Either one of those teams ain't going to put up. But the Giants are facing Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold has committed 7 turnovers. He's taken 12 sacks over the last 3 games, which is, I think we're going to be able to get to the quarterback today. I think this game should be pretty close. Panthers by by 3, favored by 3. I think, do I want to go out on a limb? I picked a tie on Thursday. I picked a tie. So this game is going to be 24-24. Thanks a lot, Dave Gettleman. We got CMC and Saquon Barkley both out. You drafted nothing but injury-prone running backs. It's very annoying. Man, I'm going out on a limb. The Giants are going to win this game, even though we've only won 9 games during the whole Dave Gettleman tenure at home. I'm going to go ahead and say the Giants win this game outright, and I think it'll be 24-21 New York Giants. So give us that 3.
Carolina Panthers are going to win this game. The Giants are just too banged up. I mean, you're gonna need a D'Ernest Johnson. You're gonna need about 6 of them offensively to try.
The Giants don't have running backs. We actually.
Well, I don't necessarily mean a running back. I just mean somebody off the next man up got to be the next man up. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all are banged up really bad right now. I don't like the Panthers much either. I mean, they kind of fallen off. They still have really good defensive players, and I think that defense is going to get back on track in this game. And I love, you guys already know how I feel about Chuba. He's getting a ton of carries. He's going to be in a lot of lineups today on DraftKings and FanDuel. I think the Panthers are going to win. They're going to cover the 3 points, but I'm going to take the under in this game. Yeah, any given day, any given Sunday. So I wasn't sure if that was a sun or if it was a coronavirus molecule thing.
Bacteria.
Yeah, bacteria. There you go. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know where the
so let me hear this right again. Let me hear this right again. Carolina Panthers are gonna win this game. You said.
Yes.
Say it one more time so I can document it.
Are you trying to create a Twitter clip before a Twitter clip has been
created? Click you up one time, send it to the editing department to get that one up quick.
I think Panthers are going to cover the 3 points.
Oh, now it's you downgraded to an I think.
Well,
you like that? Been downgraded from a we will to a I think.
Yeah. According to the Beard's winning report, the Panthers are coming in with a I think.
Let me respond to TVM real quick. Look, my girl was saying Canada Dry is the worst ginger ale. She's like, I hate it. I can't stand it. But let me tell you something that I don't like about this Canada Dry here. 36 grams of sugar per serving. That is ridiculous. This is a can of Canada Dry. Like that's a little bit too much sugar cracking in this Canada Dry. I don't think I'll be buying these anymore.
You know they make Canada Dry here.
Oh, is that right?
In Maryland.
Where is here? Oh, in Maryland? Is that a Baltimore thing? What is that?
No, I think it's in Silver Spring.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure they make Canada Dry in Silver Spring, Maryland.
I'm looking on the back. We'll check with the team. They'll hit me in my ear and let me know what's good if we make it Canada Dry in Silver Spring. No Silver Spring on the can.
No, maybe that might have been created in my mind.
Since 1904.
1904?
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing like fantasy. We're like Googling, is Canada Dry created in downtown Silver Spring?
For those of you that just tuned in, make sure you put Canada Dry in your flex spots this week. We're expecting a big game from Canada Dry. All right,
they don't make it in Canada. I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot up here. What's new on?
I mean, that's okay if I sound like an idiot. We're used to the beardisms. All right, moving on to 4 o'clock. The Detroit Lions are 0-6. That's bad. Are heading really bad. To L.A. Who the Rams are 5-1.
Have you ever seen a head coach cry at the presser in the NFL?
Yeah.
I think Dan Campbell might be the first. Who did you see crying on the podium before?
I seen some coaches cry. Maybe like
NFL.
After. Yeah.
On the podium. At the presser.
Yeah.
My guys is trying their hardest, man. I just want to win. I ain't never seen that.
This is a revenge game matchup. So for those of you I mean, you should know.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff are facing each other after being traded from these teams. The Rams are a absolute whopping 16.5-point favorites. The over-under is 50.5. Kickoff is at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, this is a stat that I heard. Cernock, if you're in the chat, drop a little nugget alert. Jared Goff has never won a football game without Sean McVay as his head coach.
He only had 1 year with Jeff Fisher, and it wasn't even a full season. It was 7 games.
Yeah, and then 6 games.
That's not
so
a
far
good
now.
nugget. That was a cold nugget. That was like, look, you know what kind of nugget that was? I almost said something crazy. But that's like the nugget when you order like a 4-piece nugget and they give you a 5th nugget and it's just like bread, and it's just like there's nothing inside
That's exactly what that was. Just because I didn't think about it, never really realized it.
I mean, they're 0-6. He's playing on the worst team in the NFL right now. When he came into the league, and this is the thing, only reason why I had that number fresh off the top of my head was because somebody was saying that Jared Goff came into the perfect situation when he was drafted. And I was like, do you not remember that team with Jeff Fisher? They were awful. They were 4-12 and lost 7 straight games with Jared Goff when he did get the start. It's very reminiscent of Eli Manning. So for anybody who thought that, he came into a perfect situation, that's totally, totally false. And Sean McVay completely turned that team around in 1 year. I think they got 10 or 11 wins the next year.
I do want to give a big shout out to Cam Akers, though. I don't know if you saw that clip I posted of him already doing drills.
Oh, that's good to see.
Torn Achilles. So a big shout out to Cam Akers. Speaking of running backs, Daryl Henderson has been pretty good so far. And then DeAndre Swift, he's not like a typical running back in this system, which is weird to me. I don't know why they just don't give him the ball all the time.
Yeah.
But he is putting up good fantasy numbers. TJ Hawkinson is a little banged up, so I don't really know how effective he's going to be. Since he's been banged up, he just hasn't been the same as that hot start he had early in the year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, though, I like him, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. And then Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper Kupp going to eat.
Yeah,
Robert Woods going to eat. They might put up 50 by themselves.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the Lions. I mean the Lions.
The Lions.
I'm gonna take
I said
listen,
what?
I'm gonna take the Rams. I hate taking spreads at minus 16.5. It doesn't seem logical in the NFL game. I'm gonna take the Rams to win. I'm gonna take the over 50.5. Are you gonna take?
I like the Rams to win. I like the Rams to win, and I think they'll cover. I mean, you gotta think. I mean, the Rams did damage against the Giants last week. And the Giants, to me, are a better team than the Lions. And the Rams beat us pretty much with a second quarter performance. They didn't even play for the whole game. They took their foot off the gas. I'm glad you brought up Daryl Henderson. Before the score was 38-3 in the fourth quarter, and they took him out the game. He got 22 of the team's 24 touches out of the backfield. So he's the guy. And I have Sony Michel in the lineup right now. I'm gonna go and take Sony Michel out of that lineup. I got it. What am I gonna do?
He might be a fourth quarter guy. Might be the second half guy.
I'm not banking on that. McVay took his foot off the gas pedal last week and just chilled with the Giants. I think he'll do the same here. With the relationship with Jared Goff, he's not going to want to beat him up too bad. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. They kind of were they were like fake friends. Weren't they?
But McVay doesn't strike me as one of those people. He's not a Pete Carroll that's like, I'm going to run it up on you bums. We had a bad relationship. We gonna run it. Nah, I don't see him as that kind of guy. I'd sit. Oh no, that's actually from another game. So yeah, I like Daryl Henderson. That's about it for real, man. The Lions defense right now has allowed the 4th most fantasy points to running back. So yeah, he's going to go off. If you want to keep Sony Michel in your lineup, I don't think I'm gonna do it, but I'm desperate right now for running back. I got to find somebody to replace Ramondre Stevenson before these games go live. Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams to cover that 16.5.
That's crazy.
50.5.
And that's not even the largest spread of the day. That's the crazy.
Yeah. What
part.
was the other one that was more than that? It was
in a couple of games coming up. It's 19.5.
Jesus. How is the spread a skunk? I don't get that. That's just crazy. It's like a skunk in two or three missed kicks.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. There's a couple of crazy games. This next game though is a little bit closer according to Vegas, and speaking of Vegas, the Philadelphia Eagles are 2-4. They are heading to Vegas. The Raiders are 4-2. The Raiders are 2-point favorites. The over/under is 48.5. I was telling Awthentik before the show in what they like to call in the media world, our pre-production meeting, that Miles Sanders, this is the Miles Sanders game. I think Miles Sanders, I hope the coaches realize that they are underusing Miles Sanders. You run the ball, catch the ball, do whatever you got to do. Just put the ball in that guy's hands, And the big news, obviously, coming out of this game is going to be the health of Darren Waller. So we will have our eyes on him. This game is an afternoon game, so it kind of puts you in a tough spot if you have Darren Waller in your lineups.
Yeah, look at the tight end, the backup tight end, who I had to look up before the show, Foster Moreau. I saw him rising in his stock as far as fantasy goes. He was projected for like 7 fantasy points. So if you need a quick little swap out, that might be somebody you might want to implement to your lineup.
Yeah, and the Raiders are giving up 4.5 yards per carry to opposing running backs. So I just think that this is a good spot for Miles Sanders. And then Jalen Hurts. To be honest with you, Jalen Hurts has been a great fantasy quarterback.
Yeah,
he might not necessarily be a great, real life quarterback, but I think he's going to be. I think he's a good NFL quarterback right now. But in fantasy football,
watch your tone. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if he's a good quarterback right now. That might be a reach, and that he's going to be great. That might be a reach too.
Well, I didn't say he was. I said he might.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to give a little bit of confidence.
Tape. I don't even think you said might. I think you said he's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take 24.
Let's holler at the editing team. We'll be right back in 5 minutes.
No, listen, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a good quarterback. I think
there you go. That sounds a lot more realistic.
He has the potential to be something special. I just think he has a winning mentality. I like the way that he plays. Once he learns how to get better at progressions and
mechanics,
gets that completion percentage up a little bit. Like, I think that the things that are wrong with him are fixable, like you're saying with mechanics. I think these things will just come with a little bit more experience. He hasn't even played a full season yet, so let's give him a little bit of slack. But as far as fantasy goes, him and Patrick Mahomes are the only 2 quarterbacks in the entire National Football League to score at least 20 plus fantasy points on DraftKings every single game this year.
That's what's up.
So, but the Raiders are really good, and both of these teams are really good at defending the deep ball. And I think that, with the Raiders, if Waller's out, I'm looking for Hunter Renfrow to have a big game, because I think that he's going to be one of those guys that they're going to use in that sort of intermediate route area, since the Eagles are going to try and take away the deep pass from players like Henry Ruggs. So if Waller's out, I'm looking for Hunter Renfrow to have a huge game today. This game is a little weird to me. It can go either way, hence the 2-point spread. I'm going to take the Raiders to win. I'll take them to cover. I think they'll win by 3 points. And 48.5 is super sketch. It's going to be right around there. I'm going to take the over. I think it's like 27-24 sort of situation.
Yeah. 27-24, which is under, right?
51. It puts us right over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm tripping. So this game, I think if it's close, I think the Eagles are actually going to sneak out and get a victory. Let's not forget about that Carolina Panthers win they had just a couple weeks ago, where the Panthers allowed them to hang around that whole game. It was about a 2-score game throughout. And, Jalen Hurts, the winner in him, kicked in, and they end up going down. He scored the touchdown, got the 2-point conversion. So for me, I'm going to pick the Raiders in this game. I'm going to take the over as well, and I think they will cover. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles are in this game. I like Devonta Smith in this game, even though he's coming off a season-low 4-target game versus the Bucs last week. I think this will be high scoring, a lot of throwing. And what you were saying about Miles Sanders, needing to get the ball, I think, the problem over there is that they run a lot of RPO. And I think maybe at times Sirianni is not thinking that Miles Sanders won't get the ball on RPO, but I think teams are selling out on Miles Sanders when they run RPO, which in return is forcing Jalen Hurts to get, a lot more carries than he should. But I like Jalen Hurts in this game as a fantasy player as well. I like Miles Sanders. I like Devonta Smith. Kenyon Drake's coming off a touchdown performance last week, but he only had 11 snaps on offense. He's averaged 40 over the first 3 games. Josh Jacobs is supposed to be coming back off the toe injury. Reportedly he was feeling better. I don't know if he's active or not for this game. And like I said, keep your eyes out for the backup tight end and keep your eyes on Waller to see what his status is going to be in this game too. Foster Moreau. I mean, you know how it be, man. You never hear about these guys, and then all of a sudden get that little opportunity.
They de-earnest you.
And they're the Ernest Johnson. That was a good clip because I was like, "What's the backup running back for the Browns?" He was like, "The Ernest," and I think you got the other homie's first name right too, like Demetric or something like that.
Demetric Felton, yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to them, man. Players who, when it is next man up. I mean, my New York Giants don't know nothing about next man up because the next man up, we have the next man up. Who's the next man up after the next man up? Is the question in New York right now. So hopefully in this case, you'll see your boy Foster Moreau do something. But, yeah, I got the Raiders, and I got the Raiders covering. I'll take the over. I think we'll get there.
Shout out to Jameson and his Atlanta Braves.
Oh,
They
yeah. Jameson done asked me about 40 questions about the Braves. Boy, I told him 100 times I don't watch baseball.
They defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers last night and advanced to the World Series. So you have the Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros playing.
What's your thoughts on the celebrations and stuff going on with the Braves and the tomahawk chant and all that? You think they should get rid of that? Put you on the spot. You want me to answer it first?
I mean, look, it's such a thin line. I'm not as familiar with I know the tomahawk chop, but I mean, you're just opening Pandora's box. I mean, that means that everything's gone.
And which it seems like everything's already gone right now.
But
do the Kansas City Chiefs still do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they used to do that back in the day too.
See, I think with Chiefs and Braves and tomahawks and stuff like that it's a little bit different than the Redskins and the Cleveland Indian with the red face. I feel like you're being a little too, those things are kind of separate to a certain extent.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more research on it, to be honest.
Exactly.
But it just seems like they're cleaning all that up, so they might want to just clean it all up, and just don't have it where people gotta pick one side or the other. Just kind of Braves doesn't even seem like you would have to change the names. You could just make it lean towards another meaning, maybe.
Yeah, red, white, and blue, like American flag.
Merc! Yeah, home of the brave. Yeah, that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Here you go. Anthony says Chiefs ownership asked them to stop.
Oh, they did
at all.
Wow.
Did you see the clip of the Chiefs superfans fighting?
No, but I did see the Carolina Panthers. Did you see the Carolina Panthers fight?
The Minnesota one in the
was a fight.
concourse?
You see the girl who got pushed over the ropes? You could tell she had too many beers to drink too.
All of them did. And the dude kept yapping.
Yeah.
And then when they finally because that was a long one. It wasn't like one of those quick ones like hack hack hack.
Yeah, that
it was
a
a lot of
long
scuffling
fight.
And then, But I do need to ask you this before I forget. Did you watch the Island Boys video yet?
The video with Ben Baller? No.
No, but did you have you seen the Island Boys song?
Yeah, we talked about it all last episode. I remember them. Yeah, it's awful. Can't bring attention to garbage, man.
You have to watch the clip of Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk watching it. AJ Hawk's face is the absolute funniest thing.
He's probably embarrassed. Like, what the hell are y'all doing?
He had the authentic. What in the hell did you just say? Face on the whole time he was watching the clip. It's
you know what's crazy about stuff like that though, just real quickly, and we're not pressing for time too much, but what's crazy about stuff like that is like I remember when you couldn't do that in music. You couldn't have like a viral moment of shock value from it being so bad that it's kind of good until like the XXL freestyles that happened that 1 year, and I think it was. And no disrespect to Uzi Vert, but I just think it was during when he was on the cover of XXL and they did those freestyles, a lot of people during that time, a lot of those freestyles were a joke, and it worked as like good publicity for them, even though it was like bad publicity. It was the first time I can remember in music where it was like, we're like hyping up some stuff that's like really, really bad. And now it's like these Island Boys, I mean, what are we doing, man? What are we doing, man? The internet, a great place. It had a lot of good things happen on the internet, but a lot of terrible things are happening on the internet as well.
Yeah, the fan base was wondering when they were going to get an authentic reaction video to that. So.
Oh my God, y'all! Hey, if y'all want a reaction video to that, I would totally do that. Actually, good 3-minute video. Them boys is crazy.
Oh man! Speaking of Florida and the Island Boys, the Chicago Bears, who are 3-3, are headed to Tampa Bay, who are 5-1. Another crazy spread. Tampa Bay is favored by 12.5 points. The over-under in this game is 47. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Got to find out the status of Robinson and your boy Darnell Mooney, both battling injuries coming into this game. I kind of like Cole Kmet a little bit in this game. He should get some quick targets underneath. No touchdowns all year for him, though. Only had 2 touchdowns in all of 2020, but he's my number one sleepy, risky sleeper start today. I don't know if you even want to do it, but I just got a weird feeling he might get a couple targets, maybe sneak his way into the end zone. Justin Fields, man, I'm not too sure about him on the road right now. He's taken 11 sacks on 42 attempts on the road. That's pretty damn bad. Tampa Bay's defense could definitely be a solid start, even though that secondary has been struggling. And we talked a little bit about running back Khalil Herbert. 19 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown last week versus the Green Bay Packers. Might be a guy in this game. 12.5. It's weird. The Buccaneers seem to play down to their competition a little bit. We saw that against the New England Patriots in that rainy game. I think that was a Thursday night game. It was a primetime game. This one, I don't think so much. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bucs to cover, and I'm going to take the over in this one.
Man, Fields is going to be running for his life today, I have a feeling. I'm curious to see, having Williams back off the COVID list, how much of that, are they going to just go right into him heavy, or are they going to split between him and Khalil Herbert?
Right.
That kind of like interests me a lot. Darnell Mooney seems to be the guy, as far as catching the ball. Allen Robinson is just non-existent. I couldn't even tell you what his stats are. I haven't seen an Allen Robinson stat all season.
He was outside of the top 60 last week.
Yeah, it's horrendous. And as far as Tampa Bay goes, no Antonio Brown. Now you have to decide who's gonna take in the number one role. Is it gonna be Mike Evans? Is it gonna be Godwin? Are they gonna have mirroring numbers? I'm not 100% sure which way it's going to go.
I like Godwin. I like Godwin because Mike Evans gets a lot of attention.
And I have Mike Evans on my fantasy team, but as far as like daily, like DraftKings and stuff like that, I think I like Godwin the best here.
For sure.
So where are we looking at for Allen Robinson? Did you have any?
Allen Robinson. Okay, so he started off the season with 6 catches for 35 yards. Since then, he has not breached 4 receptions in a game. He only has 1 touchdown on the season, 21 receptions, 234 yards. Average yards per catch is 11.1.
Yikes.
Yeah,
now, I mean,
bad.
You can't put a lot of that on him. Obviously, some of that has to go on just the quarterback play and the play calling.
Like, why is it that the Chicago Bears always go into every season with a question mark at the quarterback position? I remember their
we had
Twitter
that
department.
We had that talk the other episode.
Yeah, it really makes no sense. Like, what I was going to say is I remember their Twitter department putting out quarterback number 1 when they got Andy Dalton. And it's like, why the hell are y'all doing that? Y'all got a ex-Super Bowl quarterback on your bench, too. I don't know if he's healthy or not, but he is on the bench. And to me, he has shown that he can play better than both those other quarterbacks over there. I'm not a fan of thrusting in your rookie quarterback just in the starting lineup and letting him learn on the job. And, I mean, we saw Justin Fields have one of the worst debuts of a rookie ever. I mean, I can't remember a rookie. Oh, Nate Peterson had a terrible game, too, with the Buffalo Bills where he threw 3 interceptions on like his first 8 throws or something crazy like that. But like, is that an ownership thing? Like, go out there and find a quarterback. Why didn't y'all trade for Gardner Minshew when you guys were getting Andy Dalton out there? Andy Dalton is a backup at this point.
It's just I don't know. I mean, it's one of those organizational moves. I mean, you have to put it on the management because. I mean, Washington has been in a similar sort of situation. There's a couple of other teams, I guess.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Well, I mean, as
y'all put quarterbacks like a lot out there. Yeah, y'all have had a lot of quarterbacks start. But of all the guys that you could name that started for y'all, a lot of them happened when injuries happened, but most of them who got the starting job were pretty decent quarterbacks. Even Kyle Allen is better than everything they have over there in Chicago right now. When y'all were starting him, coming off, he had a decent start to his season with the Carolina Panthers, and then Ron Rivera brought him over. But like guys like Taylor Heineke, Kirk Cousins, who else is at quarterback for Washington in the recent past? The Josh Johnsons and the Mark Sanchez, you can't count that for real. When you're dealing with injuries, but I was going to say Jameis Winston. What was the other kid's name, number 7?
Jason Campbell, 17?
No, your boy that got drafted with
Josh
Daniel Jones.
Johnson.
I said him already. No, your boy that got drafted with Daniel Jones, man.
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. He was some garbage. To me, that was one of the biggest mistakes that Washington made at quarterback when they knew they should have just went with more of a veteran vibe over there. But it's not like Chicago, bro. Chicago ain't had a quarterback never. Jay Cutler. And he was some trash.
I mean, yeah, it's a bad situation. They'd have never had a star quarterback.
Ever. Not once.
Jim
When I got
McMahon?
a bar about Mark Rippon, bro, I wrote a bar about Mark Rippon the other day. And, wait till y'all hear this new stuff. Wait till y'all hear this new stuff.
Do you think Tampa Bay covers the 12.5?
Yeah. Against the Bears, they will. Like I was saying, they have played down to their competition a bit, but the Bears just ain't it. Their defense is pretty decent, though. I will say that. That Bears defense has been all right, but this is Tom Brady. No Antonio Brown might slow them down a little bit, but I'm taking them to cover, and I'm taking over.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you. I think I'm going to take Tampa Bay minus the 12.5, and I'll take the over. I'll dabble in the over. Yeah. Rex Grossman played for the Bears and Washington. Jason Campbell played for the Bears and Washington. I'm sure there's probably
Rex
a couple
Grossman,
more.
man. Shout out to Mark Kukowski in the building one time. What's up, boy?
There's not another quarterback that has worn a Washington football team jersey that I despise more than Rex Grossman. I absolutely despise Rex Grossman as a quarterback. I was livid during the Rex Grossman time.
Rex Grossman.
So bad.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else out there. Yeah, I hated Dwayne Haskins as much as you hate Rex Grossman.
Man, the Dwayne Haskins debates. Don't miss those.
Oh, my God. I got to go back and look at some of those old shows. I'll be like, why do you have so much faith in him?
I don't.
Why?
That was just pure stubbornness, I think. That's the only thing. Wanting to be right. Just
something
wanting
about the
it to
Washington
work.
quarterbacks, man. Yeah, you wanted it to be right. I think RG3 vibes, you're like kind of hype off that, thinking Dwayne Haskins could be the next RG3. No, sir.
Nope. Next game on the slate is the largest spread of a National Football League game that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. The Houston Texans are 1-5. They are heading to Arizona, also known as the Red Sea, I believe. They are the last undefeated team in the National Football League. They are 6-0. They are a whopping 19.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 47 points. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
J.J. Watt, revenge game. Maybe you can get a couple sacks in this game. I mean, favored by 19.5 points. I still like Brandon Cooks in this game, even though I think this is going to be the last week without Tyrod Taylor. So when Tyrod Taylor comes back, I'd look for the Texans to be a much improved team. Not that that means anything. I mean, they're pretty bad. What are they sitting at right now? 1-5? They're sitting at 1-5.
Yeah.
Wow, going up against the 6-0 Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be crazy, but I think the Texans are going to cover that 19.5. That's just too many points, man.
Kind of crazy, right?
It's just too many points, man. Cooks had 13 targets last week, so that's why I think, you got to keep him in your lineup if you got him out there, on your squad. I like Zach Ertz, man, after the trade. I was trying to remember who the tight end was for the Cardinals before they got Zach Ertz, and it was the dude Max Williams, who had a couple of decent games before he went out with a big injury. Houston's defense is allowing the second most fantasy points to tight ends. I think Zach Ertz will be a good play, even though I cut him because I had a couple options. I like Seals Jones. But I definitely like Zach Ertz for people out there struggling to try to find tight end. I don't think we'll get to the over. I don't think we're going to get there. So I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take the Texans to cover that 19.5.
Speaking of revenge games, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
Is another one who might just go off. He's been kind of, they've been spreading the ball out really well there. Whether it's the running backs, the wide receivers, everybody's kind of eating over there, and I think that makes for a really good offense. But I expect DeAndre Hopkins to have a huge game today, just because of the mere fact of the, the way that everything went down for, the Houston Texans and himself. Houston is averaging 15.3 points per game. The Arizona Cardinals, as much as we talk about their offense, their defense has been playing really well. They're only allowing 18.2 points per game right now.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's a really good defensive number. So, you put those two together, this literally could be a 21 skunk.
Why don't I remember this Bills game? The Bills beat the Texans 40-0.
Yeah, that was the spread in that game was originally like one of the largest. I think it was like 15.5, and I was like, I know Kyle's in the chat right now. Last week he said don't pick us to cover the spread. Last time you pick us to cover the spread, we didn't score a point.
I'm gonna take it back. I think the Cardinals are gonna cover. I think the Cardinals are gonna. The Colts beat them 31-3 just last week.
Yeah.
And the Bills beat them 3 weeks ago 40-0. Panthers beat them 24-9. Yeah, I think the Cardinals cover that 19.5. Wow. And DeAndre Hopkins, man, he has had a pretty slow start to the season, man. He has no games over 6 catches, but he is getting, his touchdown percentage is pretty high. He's got 6 touchdowns on the year, 2 games with 2 touchdowns, but 2 games with no touchdowns as well. But to not have a game over 6 catches, he doesn't have a 100-yard game all year.
Oof, crazy to think about. Shout out to David checking in from Ireland, one of our international viewers. We appreciate it, brother. Yeah, so I think just when you go over those scores, it just makes sense, right? Let's go Arizona minus 19.5.
Let's do it.
I think you have to take the under, right?
No,
we're gonna take the over.
I'm gonna take the over. It's
how
47,
many points do you
right?
Think, yeah, how many points do you think Houston scores?
6, 42-6 Cardinals. I'm sorry. I know we got mad Texans fans in the building too.
It was so just like spot on, serious, boom, bam, boom.
Yeah,
like I like it.
42-6.
42-6. That is a rare Authentic and the Beard 6-piece nugget combo. Like we're gonna together we're gonna give you 42-6.
Small drink. No, large iced tea for $1.
No ice though.
No ice though. Something about no ice makes the drink seem dirty. I don't know. Even though ice is dirty.
Light ice?
Light ice. I like the light ice.
Because you get a large drink from anywhere.
Yeah.
Where you have no control over your ice.
Going like this. You want ice? Whoosh. Scooping the whole damn cup.
I ordered a large soda with ice, not a large cup of ice with soda. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you gotta let them know. Also, you get them fries with no salt, and then you ask for the salt.
So they're fresh.
So they're fresh.
I like that. I just go, hey, can I get some fresh fries? They give me the bag. I go, thanks. We good to go. Don't give me them old oily ass fries, man.
Oh man. All right, next game on the slate. We going to the nighttime under the lights, Sunday night lights. The Indianapolis Colts, who are 2-4, are headed to the Bay and facing the San Francisco 49ers. The Colts are 2-4. The 49ers are 2-3. The 49ers are 3.5 point favorites. The over under is 42.5. Authentic, tell me what you got.
All right, I guess I get the drop. Let me tell you what I got here, man. Your boy Michael Pittman, okay? Came back last week. T.Y. Hilton back in the lineup. He struggled, man. He struggled mightily. He had 2 receptions for 35 yards. But before we got on air, you did tell me T.Y. Hilton out again, battling with them injuries, man. And what was your thoughts on T.Y. Hilton? You said he might be cooked. That might be it?
Yeah, he's done. He's retiring at the end of the year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on that, man. Carson Wentz is playing a little bit better here too, man. In his last 3 games, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't know if that's a reason to start Carson Wentz, but I think that is a reason to start Michael Pittman in your lineup. San Francisco's run defense has not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 25 straight games.
Wait, say that one more time?
That's a nugget, ain't it? That's a damn nugget. 25 straight games, the 49ers have not allowed a 100-yard rusher. You're rethinking your lineups.
Do you think?
I don't know. Jonathan Taylor, man, he's coming off a monster game. 14 rushes for 145 yards, 2 touchdowns last week versus your Houston Texans. I had to do it. It's 10.4 yards per carry. Jimmy Garoppolo's coming back in the starting lineup here for week 7. Elijah Mitchell, I'm not too sure about him. He's had fewer than 10 carries over the last month. A month, and you only had less than 10 carries? I don't know how he's going to fare.
He's been banged up.
He's been banged up, but yeah, San Francisco, that defense, man, I don't know how your boy Jonathan Taylor is going to fare, but coming off of that game against the Texans, if anybody needed some motivation, I think that's how you get the motivation. This is the hardest game on the slate of games for me right here to pick. I'm going to keep it funky. Both of these teams are very hard to gauge. I haven't had a good hold on the Indianapolis Colts all year. I've been missing with them all year long. And the 49ers, man, what are they coming into this game? 3-3?
The Niners are 2-3
because they had their bye. They seem like a bad team. It's weird, but they're managing to get a couple of wins here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the under right away. I think this will be a low-scoring affair somewhere around these 17s. And I'm going to go ahead and say the 49ers sneak out with the victory because I think they're going to have a good chance of stopping the run with that nugget I just gave y'all. Hot off the grill.
How you think Jimmy G does?
Don't like Jimmy G. Never like Jimmy G.
This game is, I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. I just, the Colts are starting, I feel like the Colts are moving in the right direction. You know, and you touched on it I think a lot of that has to do with the performance of Carson Wentz. And the Colts defense was like one of their strong points, and they haven't been playing up to their potential, I feel, either. Same thing with San Francisco. San Francisco's supposed to have a really good defense. They're missing George Kittle, I think, that you have to throw that wrench in there. And then,
sure.
All the running back injuries, and then the weirdness that's going on with Brandon Ayuk. I was like, I'm thinking Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, like this about to be a squad.
I don't like that the 49ers let Kendrick Bourne go because he was that kind of like stretched down the field kind of wide receiver, could kind of get some 50-50 balls and whatnot. And now they're kind of doing what the Giants do. They double dip at the same position. To me, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are like the same player.
Deebo's a little bit bigger, but yes, I totally understand.
And I don't mean like in their stature. I mean the way that they're utilized. Like they're both slot guys. They're both the kind of guy that can catch a quick hitch route, quick stop route. You can run the reverse with both of them. You need a guy over there that can really stretch the field, And I think teams that have like the good guy in the slot and the guy that can stretch the field, you're looking at a more high-powered offense, especially when you got a quarterback who's pretty average. Jimmy Garoppolo's pretty average. He's not that great,
Look, I hate these games, but I'm gonna take San Francisco to cover 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was forced to take a winner, I think I'm gonna take the Colts. I don't like it on being on the road. That kind of like throws me for a loop.
Wait, but the 49ers are favored in this game, so you.
Oh shoot! I'm tripping.
Yeah.
I'm tripping.
Let's get this one real quick because I thought you had some information on this. Shout out to the homie Ben Ball you one time in the building, man.
Tyson Williams, I don't know why and what happened, but it just he performed well in the beginning of the year. And then they just brought in Le'Veon Bell, they brought in Freeman, they brought in Latavius Murray, and I guess they just kind of waited for them to all get like a little bit more in playing shape and a little bit of, time underneath their wings, and Tyson Williams just kind of faded away into the sunset. He's 2 games ago, he was completely a healthy scratch. But you might see him get a little bit more burn this week without Latavius Murray there. But I dropped him in a bunch of my leagues. Like and it kind of was really quiet the way it went down too. So, the Baltimore backfield is like old school Patriots. Everybody's getting touches. Nobody's getting any like major burn, but they all can catch the ball fairly well out of the backfield. Le'Veon Bell even had a couple of catches last week.
Yeah, there was a game where you said 3 of the running backs scored for Baltimore.
That was last week, I believe.
Latavius Murray,
Le'Veon Bell, and Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman, who I liked when he came in for relief for Saquon Barkley.
And he's getting the start today. Devontae Freeman.
Freeman is, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you they just kind of, try them all out in practice and whatnot, and you could see. I mean, I always thought Le'Veon Bell had a lot left in the gas tank, but he just got to get acclimated with the offense. And they had him on the practice team for like the first week and whatnot. And I just think he's still got a lot left. He's probably the better back, and that's why Tyson Williams is taking a back seat. And Latavius Murray's been balling out when healthy.
Yeah, I think I really like Latavius Murray. I just think that his ability to move without the football and the pass catching ability, and he's can run downhill, and he can he's fairly fast for his football age.
And build. He's a bit of a bigger running back.
Yeah.
And remember when the Saints got rid of Mark Ingram and Mark Ingram went to Baltimore. Latavius Murray filled in well, being that second running back with Alvin Kamara over there. So I think he's proven that he can work in a 2-back system. And he's probably got a couple years left in the gas tank for sure.
Yeah.
Just wanted to take a look at this. So we're going to have Pert at left tackle, I like Skura at left guard, Billy Price at center, Will Hernandez at right guard, and Nate Solder at right tackle. God, that is like one of the worst offensive lines in the league right now.
It hurts when you read it all at once.
Man, the Giants, what is it? We're going to need God today. Only God can fix these things.
I don't know if God plays left tackle, though.
If God played a position, he'd be a quarterback, right?
I would imagine, right? I mean, he doesn't strike me as a diva wide receiver, so yeah. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts plus 3.5. And I'm going to take the over 42.5.
That's a good one. Okay, I like the Niners now. We'll see how that one pans out. That it's a tough game to pick, man. Like I said, the toughest game probably. This one and the next one, toughest games on the slate for me.
Yep. We're going to get to this Monday night game, and then we'll close the last few minutes with any questions that anybody may have leading up to kickoffs. The last game on the slate is Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints are 3-2. They are 4.5 points favorites, and they're headed to Seattle. Seahawks and the 12th man, they're 2-4. Geno Smith is quarterbacking that team. The over-under is 42.5. Kickoff is Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got. This that funky funk.
Yeah, I told y'all this one almost made the last album. All right, so we talked about this a little bit off air, man. I like DJ Dallas in this game with Chris Carson out. Alex Collins battling that groin injury. I believe he's going to be dressed today, and he will be active, but them groin injuries are definitely a problem. You see a lot of people try to come out and play on the groin, and then, quick little turn. Coach, get me out the game. I think DJ Dallas will step up, especially with the backup quarterback being Geno Smith, who's going to need all the help he could possibly get. New Orleans' run defense has allowed the second fewest rushing yards to running backs this season. I believe it's 55 yards per game. That sounds crazy. But I think that DJ Dallas could work his way into the passing game as well, maybe some short passes, stuff like that. He's a start for me. I'd sit Jameis Winston in this game. So the Seahawks did enter last week on pace to allow the most yards in NFL history, which is kind of ridiculous. You would think that would mean start Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston has not attempted more than 30 passes in a single game this season. And last week, that Hail Mary helped him get over just 230 yards for the first time all season. That boy has not been throwing for a lot of yards this year. Seems like Sean Payton does not want to take the training wheels off Jameis Winston. Winston has been sacked 0 times at home. I thought that was an amazing stat right there, but he's been sacked 9 times on the road. We know the New Orleans Saints are traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Projected rain in this game. I'm sitting your boy Jameis Winston in this game, but I do like DJ Dallas. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to actually upset the Saints in this game, and I'm going to take the over.
Intriguing.
You know, I picked the Seahawks last week, bro, and they fluked out right at the end of the game. Couldn't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers because of Watt is a problem. He's a problem. We need one of those players on the Giants defense, man. That's a problem like that. But I think this week they'll get it together. I think Geno Smith is a pretty serviceable backup. Remember, we were talking about Case Keenum's start. We didn't get to talk about that on air a lot. Case Keenum is washed. Get him out of there. He could not throw the ball past about a good 25 yards. The one thing I'll give him credit on is he's a fighter. He was out there trying to break tackles looking like Super Bowl Eli Manning. But he's garbage. I think Geno Smith's a much more viable option at the backup position than a guy like Case Keenum.
Well, we're going to find out, but I think this game is all about Alvin Kamara. All about Alvin Kamara. I mean, that Seahawks rush defense is just, to pull one of my favorite authentic words, putrid. 140.8 rushing yards allowed per game. That is insane. And
how many yards?
They're average. They're allowing 140.8 rushing yards per game.
That's definitely bottom of the league.
Yeah, it's got to be. I didn't even write the ranking. I just figured that had to be one of the worst. So I expect Alvin Kamara to have a huge game and kind of go along with the theme of not letting Jameis Winston do too much. I looked at his touchdown to interception ratio's got to be one of the best of his career so far. 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So, I mean, I like New Orleans in this game, and I was one of the big. I like Geno Smith just because the way that he played when he came into that game. I was like, he got a little bit of fight in him himself, but
yeah.
I don't know. And picking the Saints to beat the Seahawks on the road seems like just not a good idea to do. I'm going to take Seattle.
I'm looking at some scores right now, and I might renege on that pick. I'm going to keep it funky with you.
I'm going to take Seattle to cover the 4.5, but I think the Saints win. And that over-under looks a little sketchy. I think we're going to get to like 38. I'm going to take the under 42.5.
Looking at the Saints scores, this is pretty interesting. They beat the Packers early on in the year. You remember that game?
Yep, the first game of the year.
38-3. Jesus. Then they lost to the Saints 26-7. They beat the Patriots. That's not a good team. And they lost to the Giants with the last, the 7-minute comeback from the Giants. And they beat Washington. This is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be a really close game. And what are they favored by today? They're favored by 4.5.
The Saints are favored by 4.5, yeah.
Nah, I'm going with the Seahawks. I'm sticking with my pick. As my man Entertainer would say, book it. Seahawks are going to win this game. 2 weeks in a row, I'm picking the Seahawks to be the upset favorite for me. I'm going with the Seahawks. It's on the road. They're at home. Hopefully the crowd can help my man Geno Smith do a couple of things. Seahawks are going to come out with a victory in this game by 3 points.
Interesting. We need to make some Authentic and the Beard red pens.
I'm down for that. That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Put it on the board for your bookets.
How many people they launched their merch with a red pen? That's gangsta. You know what I'm saying? Get your red pens.
All notes need to be taken in red when you're dealing with Washington and New York Giants stuff.
I'm taking these bloody notes. You like.
If anybody has any questions regarding fantasy football, now is the time to place those in the chat.
Ben says my Giants hat is too tight this morning. We're picking the Seahawks. This joint's a little loose, man. It's for a big-headed. I got a pretty large cranium too, but this joint it's got a little too much room right up in here. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see how that after Sunday night game, Ben. I'll be on Xbox. Pull up on me, invite me to a party, and one of us will have some bragging rights on that one.
You're gonna die on that Seahawks sword 2 weeks in a row, huh?
Yeah, I didn't really die on it last week. It was like, it was like the end of the movie where it was like the knife was puncturing me, and I was just like, getting ready to pull the knife out and revive myself for the win.
And the credits came, and we had to wait till next season
movie. We had to wait for that sequel. Yes, sir.
Henry Ruggs or Julio Jones? Oosh.
Julio Jones.
Eagles secondary is really good at defending the deep ball. I'm gonna go Julio Jones also. If Double check his status, though. I know it was up in the air, so double check Julio Jones'
status. You definitely want to make sure that. I'm trying to think. What was the matchup was against the Chiefs? Yeah, I mean, that pass defense is so garbaggio. Yeah. He's got to go
Is this Bateman's week? Absolutely. I'm heavy Bateman this week. I think he's going to have a big game.
Yeah, I think it's his week, too. I mean, the Bengals are pretty decent. They, seem to hang in every game. Scores seem to be right around the 20s a lot of the time. But, yeah, I think Bateman can go off, especially with Sammy Watkins was ruled out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Xbox username, Awthentik, the way I spell it right there. Music at the end of it. Pull up, holla at me. I play a lot of Apex Legends, a good bit of NBA 2K, a little bit of Madden here and there, but not too much. A little bit of Call of Duty, but not too much. But I'm mainly on Apex Legends and a little bit of 2K.
I mean, it's possible, Ben. I mean, we're cutting kickers and we're moving Collins to linebacker. Anything is possible.
No. You guys, don't think about switching to quarterback in Washington for about a good 4 or 5 weeks. Don't forget this is the toughest stretch of the season. It's going to look a little ugly.
Miles Sanders or Chase Edmonds? That's a really good question. I'm banking on Miles Sanders having a big week, but I really like Chase Edmonds against the Houston Texans in this game.
Chase Edmonds' problem is putting up the touchdowns. In that 4 weeks when I was doing some research on him about four weeks into the season, he had no touchdowns. Just checking it here, no touchdowns. He had 4 rushes for 46 yards last week against the Browns, or this past Thursday. Or no, that was last week. I'm tripping. That's last week. He's not getting the volume. His maximum touches this year as far as rushing were 12. And that was that one game against the Rams. He had 12 for 120. He was averaging 10. He had 4 receptions in that game too. Yeah, so I can't bank on Chase Edmonds. I just can't bank on Chase Edmonds. I got to go Miles Sanders in this one because Miles Sanders has found a way to make it happen even with limited touches. Sometimes finds his way in the end zone.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna ride with I almost said Chase Edmonds. I'm gonna ride with Miles Sanders, but I wouldn't be mad at either one. I can understand the matchups are allowing you to play either one of those.
The Cardinals
guys.
might end up being in a blowout where they're going to be, having a guy just running the ball a bunch of times at the end of the game. So I mean, it might work out. I think flip a coin on that, but I do like Miles Sanders a little more.
Big shout out to another one of our international viewers. It's Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. It's Saluti Authentic. Stop by your office to pay our proper respects. And for all Giants fans around the world.
Stanky Eagles fans.
Slap all stanky Eagles fans. Losers on the way out.
Facts.
Thank you, Tuto.
Appreciate you, Tuto. Appreciate you pulling up, fam.
Waddle or McLaurin? Man, y'all are bringing the questions right now.
I like McLaurin. McLaurin's coming off a down game last week. I want to say it was only 2 receptions. Might have been 4. Waddle's coming off a great game last week. So for me to keep that volume going, to bank on Tua to have another good game, I don't know. I can't really bank on that. I'm going to go McLaurin, who really rarely has 2 back-to-back bad games.
Yeah, McLaurin will get you a lot of volume. Waddle might get you the touchdown. So I'd look at what your scoring, your league scoring system is, and factor that into your decision. Marjorie says that Eli Penning is taking first-team running back reps right now. Devontae Booker with Mike Glennon and second team.
I don't like that, man. Penny is a real fullback for real, not really a running back. But hey, whatever works today. I don't care, man. Go out there and get that win. Whatever works.
Well, we've reached that time in our Sundays where we're gonna allow you guys to gear up for your own fantasy and your favorite team matchups, while the Beard and Awthentik try and find ways to get victories for Washington and New York, and definitely some fantasy victories and some fantasy money.
Yeah,
we're hoping for all.
Remember that big target we had at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, that is not gonna happen.
It's not looking so good right now. Hey, but shout out to the 51 still in the building, man. Before we get up out of here, let me see some biceps in the chat one time for me. Left side,
strong side
in the building one time. This was a really cool, laid-back show. Very chill vibes, man. I like having less games. 6 teams on a bye makes the research a lot less extensive. I can focus in on some of these players a little bit more. like some of the picks. I'm feeling a little sketchy about that Seattle Seahawks pick. I know Ben's going to come at me if they lose that game. It's at home, man. Hopefully the what do they call it? The 23rd man or whatever they call it,
12th
man. Okay, so it's both sides of the ball. 12th man. You see what I did? I kind of lumped it together, the 23rd man. We got 22 starters on the field, whatever. But hopefully that helps the Seattle Seahawks in winning that game. But other than that, man, I feel pretty confident, man. Maybe that spread against the Texans is looking a little crazy. The spread against the Lions is looking a little bit crazy, but all in all, feeling pretty good about my picks. I'm about to go back and really start looking at all my picks from all the shows because I feel like I'm
say, when we get to halfway, which is like next week or the week after that, we're gonna go back and we'll do a midweek mid-season show, and or or a weekend or something like that, and we'll take a look at what we thought all of the teams in the NFC were going to be at this point in the schedule. We'll see where those match up with our predictions. We'll see how we're doing.
What's up, fam?
We'll see how we're doing on our Thursday predictions, and we'll see how we're doing on our parlay predictions, and then we'll compile all those numbers, and then we'll show you guys those.
You know what I think you've been doing a lot this year? You've been taking teams to cover. And, in return, it doesn't give you like a clear-cut vision of who you really like for the game. So I kind of get lost in the sauce with all the jargon you throwing out there. But I got a feeling that I'm up on you. We should start the tallying up now so we don't got to do 8 weeks of tallying the parlay. I mean, that's about a good 2 hours of show. Authentic and the Beard, we gets it in.
Man, let me tell you, there's one thing I've mastered recently, and I'll leave you guys on this note. It's the 2x consumption of content, whether it's on Netflix or YouTube. Gotten really good at watching things in 2 times speed.
Oh, the 2 times speed. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like hearing people talking like this, like I don't like that. I don't like that, bro. And then when you slow it back down to normal speed, you feel like
it really messes with you.
Nah, B. Nah, yo, it like plays games with my mind, man. Like I get a lot of rappers in here who want to like screw their voice up, and while I'm like working on the pitch and trying to get the pitch right, screwing it up, making it pitch down and whatnot. By the time I get back to hearing their regular voice, I'm like, this don't even sound right no more. It's just throwing off my whole equilibrium, so I can't watch. What I thought you were saying was balancing 2 things at one time. Like, I was watching episode 3 and 4 of Squid Games last night while I was tuned into Entertainer and Bad Dog with the earpiece in, just kind of trying to absorb all of the content at once.
I'm watching 2 things at 2x while doing something else too.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
So I have the football, the Notre Dame game on my phone. I'm watching the 2x YouTube, and I'm pricing, and I'm pricing everything for Monday's live sale all at the same time last night. It was crazy.
Yeah, definitely wild, man. I'll tell you one quick last thing before we get up out of here. I've been having some football dreams lately, bro.
Oh, Josie literally recorded me. She said you should have heard yourself last night. She was like, I was like, what do you mean? Because I talk in my sleep. You know that. And
crucially.
She was like, you were talking about football in your sleep. And I was like, well, what was I saying? Because how sometimes when you hear things or see things or in your dreams, you're like, I gotta play those numbers, it was in my dream, So I was like, what was I saying? And then she was like, I caught the back end of it recorded, and she's like playing it, and man, I literally sounded like I was on an episode of the Parlay, like in my sleep.
Yo, I've been having dreams like I'm in the game. I'm like actually playing. Look, I had this dream last night that Bill Belichick was like looking for new running backs. And I think this is because I was just looking up Ramondre Stevenson, trying to place him in my lineup. And like, I was the running back. But then when I had my big opportunity in the game, he ran like a quick little Z out route to me or something from the backfield. And I dropped it like right in the end zone. I was just like, there's something about, them football dreams never go well, man. I have these football dreams where like I'm getting ready to just go off, and I'm about to go in the game, and then I just wake up. I'm just like, God, can I go off in a football dream one good damn time, please?
They're not giving. That's messed up, man.
Give my man, I don't know what it is
one
about the
touchdown
dream. Just one touchdown dream, bro. Just one. Or one dream where I'm running fast. But speaking of what you were saying about playing numbers and whatnot, right before we get out of here, I'm just give you all this. So I had this dream that I was like, I'm having some crazy dreams, bro. I had this dream I was like walking out to the boxing ring with like somebody like Floyd Mayweather or something, and I was like rapping. as
you were
he was
the
like walking out,
acquaintance.
I was the acquaintance, okay? And like I was dropping bars, bro, and like the crowd, you never see the crowd react to the bars when somebody's rapping, walking the boxer up. But I remembered the lines, bro. And like soon as I woke up, I was like, oh, yeah, them joints was fire. I saw the crowd reacting in my dream. So I kept the bars, cuz. Yeah, dog. Been a wild week of dreams lately, bro. Like it's really been a wild week of dreams, man. But I got a dream today. Hopefully it comes to reality that my New York Giants can get a W out here, man, because it's been pretty bad for us, man. One win. We've got to celebrate one time all season, bro. We need a W today, man. Giants Nation, y'all know what it is. We got to get this W. I'm hoping y'all take an L again, Beard. The records got to get aligned, bro.
Yeah, not going to happen this weekend. Let's go Washington football team. It's going to be a fun week after this one.
Yo, Ash Buddy says, I had a dream I was in Hell's Kitchen. That's crazy, yo. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. Double Easy said, keep it funky. Double Easy's a new subscriber, man. He was tuned into the Entertainer broadcast, man. Big salute to you, bro. Hopefully we can get this W today, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up today, man. 46 still in the building right now. We got about a good 20 minutes before we get to kickoff, man. Y'all make sure to adjust your lineups right now. I'm about to go do the same thing. I got to get Sony Michel, Ramondre Stevenson up out of my lineups, man. Best of luck to everybody with your fantasy games today. I'm on a 2-game winning streak. Me and the Beard on a 2-game winning streak in that league as well. Looking to get that third win, man, and try to keep our playoff hopes alive, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Left side in the building.
Strong side.
All right, man. Y'all be good, man. Peace out.
Peace.